Hi everyone, welcome. I'm Rebecca and this is just a basic level mat class. If you're level 1 you could enjoy it too, actually anybody could enjoy it. I feel like really stretching today and lengthening, so I think that will be our theme or our focus. This class is also designed to be safe for those living with low bone density. So yeah, it's just you and your mat and already some idea of height and length in your body. Starting with your feet in parallel and have them no wider than your hips, but just what's comfortable for you. And you can have a little turnout on the toes if that's how your hips are the most relaxed, or you can have those feet in parallel. But just take a moment and sway the weight. First establish your tall spine. Do that first. So try to be a little soft in your knees if you tend to hyperextend. Then that neutral pelvis, that idea of lengthening right out of the vertex, the crown of your head. And I just want you, before we actually get to the feet, I would like you to pick up your shoulders, like just slide those shoulder blades up your spine, up towards your ears, and then drop them down and feel that the whole shoulder girdle, the arm bones are heavy and relaxed. And then pick up the shoulders again. And then drop them down and just feel those shoulders relax and those arms be heavy. And now bring your attention to your feet, which is where I almost hurriedly started. And I'd like you to sway your weight forward to be in the balls of the feet. And I'd like you to sort of push this lean today, really go to the point where you almost have to, bend and lose your form. And then pull yourself back with strength to your starting position. And then go the other way to put the weight into your heels. And then take it forward. And try to really be strong in your back body, your hamstrings, the back of your thighs, the glutes, right out of the crown of your head, this idea of length and strength so that you can lean a little bit further and then pull back and lean so that your weight is into your heels, and with this idea more of strength in the front body so that you can maybe lean a little bit further back without actually falling backwards. Don't fall. And come once more forward. Good. Recentering, putting the weight into the heels. And then finally establishing a point where you have half your weight in the balls of the feet and half the weight in the heels. Take a nice breath in. I want you to bend the knees, slide your spine down that imaginary wall behind you so you keep your pelvis under your rib cage, under the head. And when you're down here, I want you to engage your core. So draw in with the deep belly, lift the pelvic floor, raise the heels, straighten the knees, and sink the heels. So bending the knees, really getting into those ankles, and then raising the heels, straightening the knees, and sinking the heels. And we're going to do this 3 more times. And I'd like you to just think about getting taller as you do this. Right? So you straighten the knees, you lengthen, 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 and then imagine your head is staying where it is as you put your heels down and the whole spine is stretching. Right? That's just a visualization, but it'll work. Somewhat. Good. Our last one, bend the knees. Keep everything steady as you raise the heels, and then straighten, straighten, straighten the knees, sink the heels. Beautiful. And then take both arms, reach them up and overhead. Bring those arms into a cactus position, out to your sides. And you're just going to lift the breastbone, lift the throat, lift the face, and press the elbows back gently so that you're getting a little bit of extension. Come back to neutral. Reach those arms back overhead. Good. Interlace the fingers and press the palms towards the sky, or just grab a wrist if that's easier. And we're just going to sway. So sway to your right, getting long in that left side of the body. And once you're there, I want you to press more firmly into the outside of your left foot and reach that left side up, 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 up towards the ceiling. Come up through the center. And then to the left. When you're there, increase that presence or press into the outer border of your right foot as you reach that right side towards the ceiling. Come up through the center, relax. We'll do that one more time to each side. So a nice reach to the left, or reach to the right, press into the left foot, reach that whole left side towards the ceiling. Breathe in as you do that. Come up through the center. And last time, leaning to the left, pressing into the outer border of the right foot, the baby toe side of that right foot. Lengthen through that whole right side. Come back into the center. Once more, bring those arms into your beautiful cactus position. Press the elbows back and lift the breastbone, lift the throat, lift the face. And as you're doing this, you're drawing in with the belly so that it's not a sway at your low back, but rather you're strong up, as far as your rib cage, and then you're imagining that extension happening just in your upper portion of your back. Beautiful. And then relax the arms down. Good. And before we go to our mat, we're going to take a little bit of a balance in a lunge position. And this can be a little lunge or a big dramatic lunge. You can have a chair next to you. You can have your wall space. This is a basic level class after all. So you do what feels good for you and your balance. But have the hips facing forward. So not off to the side. Nice and long in that spine. And as you breathe in and you lower down, I want you to pause at your peak, so at your lowest point, and you're going to take those arms, you're going to reach them overhead, and then you're going to imagine getting longer through both sides of your body, and then press them down as you come back up. So that's a movement just for 4 because it's nice and slow like that. So a nice breath in, the whole spine is staying vertical. You've got your weight into both feet, raise the arms overhead, stopping to sort of respect any stiffness in the shoulder, but then getting that idea that someone's lifting you by your fingertips. Up, 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 up. And then press the arms down. We'll do 2 more. Lower. Get that length, get that length, get that length. Reach, 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 reach. And press it up. Last time. Nice lower. It doesn't have to be deep. I just try to show big movements so that you can see it on the on the video. Reach out of those fingertips, and if you can, balance-wise, reach higher with your right arm to feel more length in that right side of the body. Then even it out, and then reach higher, taller in the left arm. Reach the left arm towards the ceiling to be longer in the left side of the body. Even it out, press it down, and change legs. So whichever leg you did, we'll reverse it. Find your balance where you have a bit of weight in the front and the back leg. You keep, as you go down, you keep that knee from going past the toe. You keep it nice and over the foot. You have your neutral pelvis. Once you're down, you take the arms, breathe them up, shoulder width apart. Reach tall out of the tips of your fingers. And on your exhale, press it up to nice and straighten those legs again. Inhale, arms overhead. Gaze straight ahead, right? You're long in your neck too. You're not trying to shrug your shoulders to reach your ears. You're trying to lengthen. You're trying to imagine the distance is getting bigger between your hips, right out of the tips of your fingertips. That rhymes. And sink it down, arms overhead. This time, if you can, balance-wise, stay safe, but reach, this time the left arm first. This to be different. Left arm first towards that ceiling, and just it's not a side bend, it's just getting taller in the left side, just extending the left side. Even it out. And then same thing with the right side. Nice and even. And then press it up and bring it in. And shake it up. Good. Awesome. We're going to come down onto the mat to be on hands and knees now. And if you don't have any low bone density, you can go do a roll down and walk out. If you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, try to come down keeping that neutral spine so you're not You're not rounding forward. You're bending at the hips more and finding that nice place where you have the hands right under the shoulders and the knees right under the hips. Beautiful. Good. And we're just going to keep the legs still at first. We're going to take a nice breath in and press through the right arm. So increase your presence in the right and reach that left arm forward. Sweep it wide out to the side to bring it back around you by your hip. Bring it back out to the side, right overhead, and lower it down. Change sides. So strong in your left side. You don't have any shift in the center of your body as you reach the right arm forward. And then reach that arm out to the side, nice and wide. So you're opening that right side of the chest. Press it back by the right hip. There's no movement in the rest of the body. Bring it back out to the side, overhead, and lower. One more of those to each side. Left arm reaches out. You've drawn in with the belly. You're keeping your neutral spine. And you've got that sweep of the arm as big as you can out to the side, back by the hip. Coming back through the side to overhead, lowering it down. If you tend to lock your elbows, like hyperextend them, keep the elbows a little bit soft. Sweep it out to the side. Reach it back by your hip. Reach those fingertips behind you. And then back out to the side. Overhead. Beautiful. Lower the arms. And take just a step forward with the hands, like one hand length ahead of you, so that you can, as you rock the hips back towards the heels, you can really lower the chest between the arms and feel a bit of length in the shoulders. Beautiful. On your exhale, you're going to stay strong in the core, strong in the belly, and you're going to come to put the presence into your hands, right? And you're keeping your neutral spine, right? So no drop, no curve. Reach it back. Nice breath in to leave the hands planted and to pull the hips back away from the hands to lengthen through the whole body. And then exhale to come forward with strength. Keep the ribs pressed away from the mat and the tummy drawn in. Inhale to reach it back. If you don't feel some nice length in the shoulders, then you can move the hands forward more, right? If you're very, very flexible in the shoulders and the hips, you'll need more distance between the hands and the knees, right? Let's do two more. Just enjoy that stretch as you move back. Think of being wide in your collarbones, wide between your shoulder blades. That feels so nice. And last one. Breath in to pull the hips back away from the hands. And exhale to come forward. Beautiful. And then for our leg work, you can stay on the wrists or the hands. I was just giving the wrists a break. If you can, you've got the hands in the forearms parallel. Then put the hands together, more of a triangle. Good. You're still in your neutral spine though. So if you're down on the elbows, you're gazing down more than ahead to have the head in line with the rest of the spine. Take a nice breath in. Reach back with the right leg. Keep the pelvis nice and level as you lift and lower. Lift and lower. Little repeater with the right leg. And I want you to try to reach the leg high, but at the same time, you've got the thought of pulling in the tummy, drawing the abdominals back towards the spine, not so that you can't breathe, okay? But so that you can control the movement of the back and open the front of the hip. Hold this one up. Reach longer to the tips of your toes. Pretend someone's pulling on your foot. Press the chest away from the mat, holding the abdominals, and circle the leg for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause and reverse. For 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Lift that leg a tiny bit higher and lower it down. Good. Reach back with the left leg. Lift. Draw in with the abdominals at that same time and lower. Lift and lower. So the pelvis is level, just meaning that both hip pointers are the same distance from the floor, right? The pelvis isn't turned to look to one side. You're strong in the arms. You're really conscious of pressing the breastbone away from the mat, trying to have a big distance there. Beautiful. Hold this one up and start your circles for 4, for 3. Notice if that feels the same side to side, or maybe one hip is stiffer. Pause after 4 and reverse for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Beautiful. Lower the leg. Awesome. And come back to hands and knees. We did a lot on hands and knees. This is our last one now. Curl the toes underneath. And if you need to sort of step into them, to warm up the toes, just a little stepping oscillation. And then take a nice breath in to prepare. Before you lift the knees, this is our hover, you're going to draw in with the belly. You're going to lift the pelvic floor. You're going to press strong through the arms. And nothing moves in your spine as you hover the knees. Breathe in to lower. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to lower. Good. We're going to do 2 more. We seem to be doing 4 of things today. Good. And this is your last one. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Let's come down onto your belly from there. Sorry. And we'll take the hands underneath the forehead. We're going to lift the upper body. And before you think of lifting, I want you to say, are the shoulders up around the ears? Are they like pulled in tight towards each other? Can you slide the shoulder blades down your back? So shoulders away from the ears and nice and wide. See if you can put your elbows wider than they are and your shoulders therefore wider. The legs stay nice and steady for this one. They're rooted to the mat. Breath in to prepare. Draw in with the deep belly. So hollow that tummy away from the mat as you lift with the face and the throat and a little bit of the breastbone just to come to this low hover, and then peel it back down as you breathe in. Exhale to come up. And inhale to relax down. And this is just length for the spine. As you peel up, you're thinking of tall, tall, tall out of the top of the head. And relax it down. Holding this next one up. And making sure you should be comfortable in your spine as you do this. Okay? So from here, let's take the arms. Let's just put them out to the sides. So the forearms are on the mat beside you. Take a nice breath in. And I just want you to try to float the right arm. So draw in the belly, keep everything nice and still, don't lose the height in your throat, and just take that right arm and float it off the mat and try to reach the elbow wide out to the side and place it back down. And then do the left. So lifting that left arm just to a hover, it's only an inch or so from the mat. Reach it out to the side. And that reach out to the side is obviously not a big movement, it's just the idea of getting wide. So lift the right. Think of getting wide and place it down. Good. Lift the left. Think of getting wide. Place it down. If that's easy or doable, then try both at the same time. So on your out breath, draw in with the belly. Float both arms. Think of getting wide, like someone's pulling on each elbow in different directions. Opposite directions. So float it down. Try not to lose your height as you repeat it. Wide, wide, wide. Exhale. If you suddenly discover that you're getting some back pain and you didn't have it when you were doing singles, then just do the single arms for now, right? Maybe the spine mobility isn't ready to do the doubles or the endurance. Really feel like you keep the pubic bone rooted to the mat. This is our last one. And I'm going to just add a little repeater here. So the hands are out to the sides in almost our cactus position. And if you're happy to, I want you to reach the arms, straighten the elbows, reach them straight out from your shoulders, and then bend them back to cactus and lift them up higher. Straighten them out to the sides, bring them back into cactus, lift the elbows higher. Haha, right? That's a lot of good. Straighten the arms out to the side, bring them to cactus, lift the elbows higher. And last time, straighten, bring them back to cactus, lift the elbows higher, and bring those hands back under the forehead. That's some really good postural strengthening, especially if you do have osteoporosis or osteopenia. We're going to keep the legs nice and still now, the upper body nice and still, and with the legs, we're just going to bend one knee. On your exhale and straighten it as you breathe in. And this one might be very easy for you if you're nice and flexible in your body. If you're tight in your hip flexors or tight in the quadriceps, the front fascia of the thighs, then you might find that you have some difficulty keeping the pelvis still, or you feel a pull in the low back as you bend the knee. So you just do what you can with comfort, staying strong in the belly as you bend the knee, and just trying to feel that the leg's the only thing moving, right? The upper body is nice and still. Last one. Beautiful. Straighten out the legs. Take the arms underneath the rib cage or the shoulders. You can bend the knees a little bit, and on your exhale, try to press up nice and straight. And gently rock it back to a lovely shell stretch or child's pose. If you feel better leaving the hands in front, you can do that. Or if you're happy to, you can lower the forehead to the mat and bring those hands around by the feet. Letting the shoulder blades get wide, the elbows get wide. So that mid-back opens and lengthens. And in this position, you're trying to get round in your spine. So you're trying to imagine if someone had a hook on your low back and they were lifting you up towards the ceiling on your in-breath, and then exhaling to sit a little deeper into this lovely pose. Breath in. A nice breath out. And just do two more where you really picture the expansion, the air going to your low rib cage, to your low back area, into your pelvis even. Perfect. Lovely. And from there, we're going to come on to our sides. With the bottom arm being your pillow if you're comfortable with that. If you're not, then you can bend it, cradle the head, or cushion, so that that head can lay in line with the rest of the spine. So bend the bottom knee so that it's really nice and up in front of the hip, and you've got the foot out towards the forward edge of your mat, a nice big base of support. And we're going to raise the top leg up to a nice horizontal. So lifting that top leg, keeping the pelvis nice and stacked, keeping the idea of a little bit of space between your waist and mat, so not crunchy in the waist, but. And we're going to reach that top arm overhead. This is our length, right? So you've got the toes reaching one way, the fingertips reaching the other way. Try to feel a nice, lovely stretch through the top side of the body as you breathe in. Beautiful. On your exhale, as if you're going to bring them together. Maybe you get them to touch, maybe not. And then reach everything back out, nice and long, nice and long, nice and long, as if someone's pulling the toes and the fingertips in opposite directions. And then exhale to bring it in, as if you're going to bend the elbow, bring the elbow and the knee together. Everything's sort of staying parallel to the floor here. Bring it in on your exhale. Maybe, oh, now they touch. Good. And last one to reach out nice and long. Exhale to bring it in. And reach that leg out nice and long. You can take the hand to the mat if you need it for a little support. We're going to do 4 sweeps of the leg. So flex the foot, sweep that leg ahead. Just what you can control, staying still in the waist, and then point and sweep back. Flex it forward, point and sweep back. Flex it forward, Point and sweep back. And then because you have a big base of support, I want you to do big circles. And I just want you to do 4. 4 is our magic number. Big circle. Big circle. I don't want you to be out of control, but I'd rather have a big circle today than a perfectly steady waist. I just want you to feel the movement and the length. Reverse after 4. Big circle. Try to make the second tracing even bigger. Yes. So you're getting some strength in the hip here, but you're also getting some length and nourishment for the joint. After your 4th one, reach that leg behind you, and I want you to feel like you tip the pubic bone forward, or the tailbone forward, and I just want you to reach the leg further, 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 so you're trying to open in the whole front of the hip. Stretch the hip flexor, and then bend the knee and bring it. We're going to do the other side. So, bottom knees bent, right up by your hip, foot out towards the forward edge of the mat. That top leg reaches out long. Take the top arm and reach it nicely, strongly overhead. Feel like someone's pulling the toes down towards the end of the mat, and someone's pulling the fingers up overhead. And then on your exhale, bring everything so that elbow and knee are coming close together, and then stretch it out long again. Exhale. This is a lovely one, especially if you've been like sitting, working at the computer, knitting, crocheting, quilting. I know what you do. Good. Well, last one to reach overhead. Long in that top body. And then take that hand and place it on the mat if you need it for balance. Flex that top foot, that ankle, and we're going to sweep it ahead. Point and sweep back. Sweep it ahead. Point and sweep back. When you sweep it ahead, you're trying to feel the length from your sit bone right to your heel in your sciatic area or the hamstring and calf area. Good. I think we're going to do an extra one because I was talking, but here's our last one, and then we'll start our circles. So just big circles, even if it means you don't have perfect control in the waist and pelvis. So not out of control, but just try to make it big and try to feel like you're reaching long out of the tips of your toes. Yeah. Big, and reverse for 4. An even bigger tracing for 3. Even bigger for 2. And lovely for 1. Awesome. And then bring it in, relax. And then we'll just end with a little bit of work on our back. So rolling onto your back, finding lovely neutral pelvis. So hip pointers and pubic bone forming like a small triangle. And those points they all stay horizontal. You have a little space generally then between your back and the mat, your low back. And just try to slide your shoulder blades down your spine a little bit, down your back. Soften or melt your rib cage into the mat. And let's leave the legs alone for a minute. And we'll just take the arms, and without any shift in the rib cage, take those arms up overhead. And imagine someone has a seatbelt strapped around your low rib cage or your solar plexus area, and they're holding that back to the mat, or they ratcheted it down, and those arms are going overhead, but no space is developing behind those ribs, between the ribs and the mat. Good. And then to bring the arms down by your side, you're going to do a big sweep out to the side, big snow angel. If you don't have space for that in your house, you can just bring the arms down by your side. But let's do it again. Arms overhead. Really hold the ribs back as you try to let the arms touch the mat. They might not. That's okay. Sweep around out to the side so you're open across the chest. Last one with those arms going overhead. Beautiful. Out to the side. Pause when those arms are right out from the shoulders. And I want you to let them hover an inch. If they're not already, reach further. So someone's pulling your fingertips in opposite directions, right? And then continue. Back down by your sides with the arms. Place the hands, palm down if you can, with the fingers nice and spread. And keeping that pelvis nice and still, we're going to bring that right leg to tabletop without anything shifting. Release it down and switch and bring the left leg up. And bring it down. And this is just our nice warm-up, right? Trying to feel that the center of you is nice and still, but also there's no change in the curve of your back. So as you bring the leg up, there's no losing the space behind your low back. And there's also no increase in space. So some people will, as they raise the leg, they'll raise like the tummy button up towards the ceiling, or they'll get more space here. That's how they get their stability. But we're asking you to use the abdominals to help control that spine movement, not the grippy back muscle. Good. Hold this right leg as it comes up to tabletop, and we're going to stretch it out. So the pelvis is nice and still, and you can hold, your bony hip pointers with your hands if you want, or you can leave them by your sides. And on your exhale, I want you to flex the foot, and like you're pressing something away from you, I want you to straighten that leg, reach long out of the sole of your foot, and lower that leg what you can control, keeping the abdominals drawn in a little bit, the pelvis nice and still, and then bring that leg back in. And we're going to do a little repeater here for 3 more. Press, press, press like you're pressing on a gas pedal. It's really far away. Lower the leg and pick it back up. And this is just what you can control. You might not lower that leg much at all if you feel that you can't keep that strength and control in the abdominals, or you feel the pelvis shifting. Hold this one with the leg stretched out. Lower just to your threshold where you feel already some work in the abdominals. I want you to point the toe now, and I want you to circle. Oh, guess for how many? 4, 3. And the pelvis stays still. There's no rock and roll of the pelvis. Good. Reverse it for 4, for 3, and it should be a circle. Is it a circle? Of course it's a circle. Good. And bring it in. Lower that leg. Nice breath in. Bring the left leg to tabletop. Here's our repeater with the ankle flexed. So flex, pull those toes up towards your shin, and then press the leg out straight. Really straighten the knee here. Lower the leg what you can control, and bring it back in. 4, 3 more. Good. Use your out breath to help you. And really try to feel that you're still soft and melted in the rib cage. You're relaxed in the shoulders. You're going to hold this one out nice and straight. You're going to point the toe, and you're keeping that pelvis nice and level, and you're going to circle the leg for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. How still is that pelvis? How still is the leg on the mat? Good. And last one. Perfect. Bring that leg in. Lower it down. Good. And then just bring both knees in towards the chest. Take a nice breath in. Leave the elbows wide. And as you breathe out, draw those thighs in towards the body a little bit more. If it's too much to hold on the shins in front of the knees, you can always hold behind the thighs. Because the idea is just to get a nice full bend at the hips here. It's okay if the tailbone and pelvis start to come off the mat. If you get a little roundness and length in the low back, that's what we're going for. Nice length, right? Good. Perfect. And then from there, you're going to open the knees. And you can just continue to hold on to the knees if that feels okay. Or if you think you can do a little more and you want to grab onto the ankles, or you want to grab onto the toes. Right? This is a nice happy baby stretch. And we're just going to breathe. And if it feels right to you to ease off as you breathe in and pull in a little deeper as you breathe out, you can do that. Or if you like a little rock side to side, that's really nice actually. Then we'll end with this. Hopefully you feel long and tall. I will get you up to standing, but if you just want to, if it's the end of your day or you have some time and you just want to relax out nice and straight on your mat, you could enjoy that. Or if you have to carry on with your day, like some of us, then roll on your side, then come to hands and knees. If you have some low bone density, you're working to keep that neutral spine. Walk the hands back towards the knees and come up to a tall kneeling and place one leg forward. And you're going to try to stand up, if you can, without using the hands on the thigh or on the floor. If you need them, of course you can. You're going to instead try to have I Dream of Jeannie hands. Press into that forward leg and try to come up hands-free. That's just your little bonus way of getting up. Awesome. Take a nice breath in. Just reach overhead with the arms. Enjoy that, hopefully, newfound length in the body. And there you go. Have a wonderful tall day, lengthened day, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.